The Great Igbo Race. Why won't they envy you? An Igbo girl is Miss Nigeria, Miss Africa, and second runners-up, Miss Universe. An Igbo man is Mr. Nigeria, Mr. Africa, and Mr. International, equivalent to Mr. Universe. If that doesn't tell you anything about how beautiful and handsome we are, I wonder what will. Why won't they envy you, I ask again. That's why we must put our energy in the right place to develop our land and be a free people so that we can achieve our full potential in life. As ordained by God Almighty right from inception, the Igbo race continues to face enormous political and economic challenges since the instigated and imposed civil war. A plain glance at the economic and political development in Nigeria may be considered normal in terms of where the Igbo people stand politically, especially economically when compared to other ethnic nationalities. Indeed, a cursory look at the poverty level among the ethnic groups would make the Igbo race appear exceptionally successful. The Igbo people in reality experienced an overwhelming level of disadvantages based on public policies that seemed crafted to undermine their ability to maximize political and economic potentials. The restructuring of Nigeria to create more states for the northern states, to the detriment of the southern Nigeria especially. The southeast was not only an impediment politically, it impacts the economic potentials of the Igbo people negatively. Such policies as the failure to rehabilitate the Biafra land after the war, the £20 flat refund to any Biafran who wished to convert the old currency, or deposits with banks prior to the war, the Nigerian Enterprises Promotion Decree of 1972, also known as Indigenization Decree, Federal Character Principle, Manipulated Population Census, creation of states and local government areas in favor of the northern Nigeria, deliberate underuse of seaports within the Igbo axis, lack of standard international airport, and other exploitative actions. These formed many overt and indirect actions to diminish the ability of the Igbo people to compete on a level playing ground with other major ethnic groups. General Gowon promised to rehabilitate and reintegrate the defunct eastern region, which its infrastructure was devastated during the civil war, back to the country on equal footing, hence the slogan, "No victor, no vanquished." In that spirit of oneness, General Gowon's military government decreed the policy of reconciliation, reconstruction, and rehabilitation, 3 Rs for the defeated eastern region. Unfortunately, the policies were merely cosmetic since they were never actually carried out, while such policy as the abandoned property policy was pursued vigorously. The consequence was not only economical, but a deliberate strategy designed to weaken the relationship between the Igbo people and other minority ethnic groups of the eastern region. Several policies decreed into law became albatross of the Igbo nation's progress. Even though the Igbos were reintegrated into society, they continued to face economic discrimination. The £20 flat rate policy for any amount any Biafran who wishes to exchange his old currency was a deliberate policy to keep them from recovering from the economic devastation. There is a well-considered perception that the seaports within the Igbo axis are deliberately underused when one considers the fact that Port Harcourt Port was a bustling port prior to Nigeria independence. Up until Nigeria-Biafra civil war, the Port Harcourt Port was the second largest port in the country, commissioned in 1913, as with Lagos Port. The Calabar Port was equally busy handling exports and imports. Today, Nigeria's Lagos seaports are fully congested. Lives of residents, business owners, and motorists are impacted negatively due to conditions at the ports. A recent report based on estimates by terminal operators has it that more than 2,020 tons equivalent units TEUs of laden containers are awaiting clearance at Lagos seaports. The Lagos ports handle over 80% of the cargoes that enter the country. In spite of these problems, the federal government had refused to dredge the River Niger, improve the Calabar and Warri ports, etc., or make it friendly to use Port Harcourt to ease the economic waste arising from the concentration of activities in Lagos ports. The Igbo people are found in every nook and cranny of Nigeria and virtually in all parts of the world. The Igbo people are constantly on the move, both domestically and internationally. Most of the times they must travel to Lagos or Abuja before they could connect any direct international flights. It was in 2013 that the President Goodluck administration completed the facilities at Enugu Airport, now Akanu Ibiam International Airport, which enabled the first international flight led by Prince Arthur Eze. He said on arrival at Enugu Airport, "Look at me. I flew from Senegal to Enugu for 4 hours non-stop. I don't need to go to Lagos or Abuja to catch direct flight again to Europe or Senegal. I can now go from my house to any place of choice." It is worth noting that the federal government has not invested in upgrading the facilities at Enugu Airport to international airport status. The runways are very bumpy without the approach lights. There are no water supplies. The cooling systems are not working, etc. The Southeast governors have raised the alarm about the state of the airport and why the contract that had been awarded for the airport by the present government has not reflected at the airport. Other impediments are directed against the Igbo people. Some of the barriers are excessive police checkpoints directed against the Igbo people and businesses, and customs personnel harassment of Igbo people's business interests. The use of touts to harass and collect illegal levies from the Igbo shops, with the active support of some politicians in places such as Lagos State. The Igbo people suffer excessive extortion and harassment at the ubiquitous police checkpoints, both within their homeland and routes leading to the southeast. The harassment is more intense during the festive periods when the people of Southeast visit their families. The extortion by the customs on containers that had been cleared at the ports on roads leading to the Southeast calls to question the Buhari's professed fight against corruption. The economic and political marginalization of the Igbo people is not subtle. It is an active and deliberate effort designed by the federal government to checkmate their ascendancy or recovery from the devastation of the Nigeria-Biafra civil war. But unfortunately for them, the Igbos have continued to thrive against all odds, not just in Nigeria, but around the world. And this is the reason for the untold hatred you see today against Igbo people. But the hand of God Almighty is upon them, and the time to go home has finally come. And the big question is, why are they always after the Igbos? I'm sure your answer is as good as mine. Stay tuned.
Igbo.